All right, family, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to Speaker Success in the Morning. If you're not tapped in with us on YouTube, make sure you stay tapped in. All right, make sure you go to Speak Your Success Media on YouTube. There you can find all of our content, stay up to date with all of our episodes, and so you don't miss any clips. All right, because what we always love to do, we always love to roll out content that's educational, that's empowering, and also go bring you a little bit of entertainment, all right? Because we know that you need a little bit of entertainment to move and groove, to get you through the week and everything like that. So, family, you all are in for a great show today. I'm your host, Jonathan Jones, and we're here live Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard to 7 a.m. Central Standard. All right, this is your favorite morning show, right? Myself and producer Britt. And y'all, today we got a phenomenal show lined up for you. Today is just like any other day, because every other day we're gonna bring the content your way. Okay, and if you're tapping in with us live, make sure you drop something in the comment section so that we can shout you out, so we can show you a little bit of love, and so that we can just show you our appreciation and our gratitude. One thing that producer Britt and myself always talk about kicking off the show is, what did you have for dinner last night? And if you want to participate, you of course can drop something in the chat as well. We would love to hear from you, love to see what you had for dinner last night as well. But for me, last night, my wife, she has like this processor of sorts, and she began to steam the veggies. And after she steamed the veggies, she had some noodles going, and then next thing you know, blended up the veggies, had them seasoned a little bit, put some mascarpone cheese in there, and then she made this like pasta dish, and it was phenomenal because it wasn't us going and buying like the pasta sauce. She made it, and she made it from all vegetables. So, of course, it didn't have some of those extra ingredients that we can't read some of the time. And we know that those are never fun. All right. We know that's never fun. So I was like, oh, that was pretty good. She was like, I did pretty good, huh? I said, yeah, you did. Because this was the bomb. So shout out to my wife putting that together. And then also, every once in a while, and let me know in the chat if you're guilty of this as well. Every once in a while, my wife and I, we send back reels from Instagram, right? And this is where people make those recipes and they're doing their dinner thing. And we happen to come across one to where somebody had a waffle iron. And I was like, okay, but they cracked the egg into the waffle iron. And then with the egg, they blended up some chicken, and then and they opened it, and it was basically like a chicken melt. And I was like, what in the world? So last night we tried that as well with tuna fish. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I told my wife, I was like, I think it's a little bit fishy for my taste, but I think that's just the tuna fish overpowering everything like tuna fish does, right? So, hey, some of the recipes hit better than others. Some of them don't perform the way that you would like, but either way, it gives you sustenance, and it gives you something to be able to, put on that stomach for you. Put on that stomach for you. All right, now, so family, we're going to go ahead and transition. And this is what we call straight from the source. And the thing about straight from the source is I like to get into the word. And I personally don't want to get to heaven. And I don't want God looking at me and saying, John, you did this morning show. You talked about everything else. You talked about culture. You talked about the climate. You talked about everything happening all around us, but you never got to the word. So that's why we introduce straight from the source. And that's why I love doing this segment, because I want to share the word, and I want to learn the word for myself, because in 2026, we have to. Okay. We got to know the word for ourselves. So now we're going to go ahead and transition. And I have a clip, and this clip is of Pastor Brian Carter, who is the senior pastor at Concord Church here in Dallas. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what are the requirements of a husband? What are the requirements of a leader? What are the requirements of a father in the household? So without further ado, let's go ahead and hear from Pastor Carter.
When you make sure your family's in church and your kids are involved, you're leading spiritually. When you pray for your family, it doesn't matter whether you feel like you're a good prayer or not, but you say, hey, baby, let's pray tonight. When you make that a part of your rhythm, you are leading and setting the pace spiritually. You've got to help your family, your wife, your kids have a vision for where you want your family to go. The good families and good marriages and good children don't happen by accident, but they often happen because a father is present. When you make sure your family's in church and your kids are involved,
Okay. Good families don't happen by accident. All right, good families don't happen. Oh, we don't slip into a good family. Oh wow. Oh, we have great kids. Oh, we have an amazing marriage. It doesn't happen by accident. Shout out to Pastor Brian Carter for providing us with that clip. And now I want to go ahead and go to the text to where we can further expound. And in the word, it says in the book of First Timothy chapter 3, it says, he must become one who manages his own household well, keeping his children under control with all dignity. But if a man does not know how to manage his own household, how will he take care of the church of God? And I think that's a great place to really reflect. I think that's a great place to further assess because, hey, y'all, if I can't manage myself, how am I going to lead? How am I going to show? How am I going to tell somebody else what they should be doing, what they need to be doing, and what they further could be doing? And I'm saying that, y'all, because I've begun to learn and I'm still learning and continue to learn of what it looks like to be a husband, what it looks like to be a father. First and foremost, being a husband means that my wife is above all else, right? Like my wife is above my kids. And I know sometimes that when and I'll speak about myself. I know sometimes with having two boys, it can be easier to seek out or to meet my children's needs because it, a lot of times by meeting their need and doing what they do and providing for them, then it'll give me more so of quicker feedback, right? I help them. He said, "Thank you, Daddy," or "I love you, Daddy," or whatever my boys might do and what might say, right? Because there's a greater need for them for guidance, for them to be fed, and for them to do X, Y, and Z. But just as the text says here, right? He must manage his own household well. It doesn't say he must just take care of his kids. It doesn't say he just must take care of his wife. It says keeping his children under control with all dignity. Yes, okay. So keeping them under control. So making sure that when it snows, that hey, they can't just sit here and watch TV all day. When it snows, then it's my job, it's my duty to make sure that we're teaching our son something, right? I can't just sit him in front of the TV and say, hey, son, have at it, because that's going to come back and bite me. Whatever we sow, we're going to reap. So if I sow pouring into my child, if I sow praying with my child at night, if I sow taking the time to read him Bible stories, even though sometimes I'm tired and I don't want to, but it's just remembering this is something that I signed up for, right? I signed up to lead this young boy that's going to become a young man. I signed up, both of them, because I have two, right? But I also signed up for being a husband, and being a husband in 2026 for me has helped me realize a lot. Because a lot of times my wife would end up taking care of our boys. For instance, when I was a teacher, this was when my first son was born, and then he was born, and I couldn't take paternity leave because I wasn't at the school long enough. And there's like, John, no, you can't do that. So now I had to go to work. But then when I came home from work, my wife is tired because she'd been with our son all day. Now it's my job to tap in, right? And then when we had our second son, and then now there's been some days to where we role reversed, to where my wife used to be at home with our sons on Saturdays because I'd be at work doing events and things like that. But now I've been at home on Saturdays, and now she's been at events. And when I say it's been humbling and it's been a shot to the pride, because when we envision and when we talked about the goals that we had and we talked about things that we want to accomplish, a lot of times I may have said certain things, but I didn't walk out the full vision of what it could look like for us and for our family. So now it's just coming to grips with that, and coming to grips with sometimes, John, I'm gonna have to hold down the kids for a day, for some hours, while my wife is out, participating in organizations and doing some passions that she needs to do and wants to do. But that's just what it comes down to. And being a part of a team, you just have to know when to play your role, and you just got to play it. That's just it. But family, want to break down that scripture a little bit, learning that great families don't happen by accident, as Pastor Carter said, but they happen as a result of work and of intentionality. So the question now becomes, are you going to be intentional to do the work that's needed and necessary so that you can get the results that you say that you want in your life? Now that's a tough realization to come to. That's a tough, because you can give the lip service, but then what happens when you got to do the work service? Okay, you understand me? But family, that's been straight from the source. Shout out once again to Pastor Brian Carter over at Concord Church. He also wrote the foreword for my book Process. And man, Pastor Carter's just a dope dude, man. Dope dude. Had the opportunity to talk with him, build with him, and looking forward to getting the opportunity to sit down and interview him to learn more about the work that he's doing with marriages, to learn more about the work that he's doing with leaders, and just to bring that here to you all, the successors here on the platform. All right, so family, now there was some things I saw when I was scrolling on my TL, scrolling on my timeline. Some things I came across today, and y'all know today is Fun Friday. So on Fun Friday, we like to get into content, but we like for it to be, just like I said before, fun, right? Fun, engaging. And I have a slew of some content that I want to share with us today. And some of this stuff was wild, okay? Some of the stuff was really, really, really wild. But without further ado, I want to now get ready to get into some of these things I've been seeing on the timeline. And y'all, here's some wild stuff, right? I know we always talk about some of these teams that are legacy teams and teams that are really elevating. Well, look at this. Like, do you see your team in here? Right? Do you see your team here? The most profitable sports teams in the world. Is your team listed? All right. So first up top, who would have guessed? The Dallas Cowboys. I guess this can make them America's team. I never agreed with that fact that they were America's team. It's set back in, the late 90s when you had Emmett, you had Troy Aikman, right? Deion Sanders, right? Deion Primetime. Yeah. Y'all were America's team then, without a doubt. But are they still America's team? Somebody let me know down in the chat, because I need to know. But look, we had the Cowboys at $629 million, okay, for most profitable sports teams. Jerry Jones is still sitting high, all right? Then second, who would have guessed? Second, we got the Golden State Warriors at $409 million. Then Edmonton Oilers. Who would have thought? I'm seeing some other hockey teams up here. I'm seeing New York Rangers at number 13 and, Manchester United, 185, right? And they're at number 11. Houston Texans coming at number 20, 156 mil. Like, these are things that I wouldn't have known. But, man, shout out to the boardroom for providing us with this graphic. And then you got your New England Patriots, who are headed back to the Super Bowl. They're at number 6, 222 million. Okay, man, some of these franchises are really storied franchises. Like, you see the 76ers right there tied for 7th. And you also got the Houston Rockets, storied franchise. When we talk hockey, of course, Toronto Maple Leafs, 191 million. And then the Chicago Bulls just behind the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, this is cool. I like to see this. And then New York holding it down. They got the Rangers and the Giants up there. 182 million, 181 million. Right there at number 13 and number 14. So that was pretty cool, right? Then also, y'all, as we're talking a little bit about sports and getting ready to roll into the Super Bowl, I wanted to make sure that we mention this topic right here. Colin Kaepernick, hey, he's partnering with Metro Nashville Public Schools to promote AI literacy and storytelling. Y'all, I've said it once. I've said it twice. I've said it 3 times. Come here, actually. I want to talk to y'all. Let's go right here. So the thing that I think is really cool about Colin Kaepernick getting right here and getting ready to promote AI literacy, I think this is dope, and I think this is necessary. Why? Because these students are going to need more than what they initially needed in the past. Okay, John, why do they need more, and why is it relevant? Y'all, for one, we got students that are wanting to all be content creators. We got students that are not wanting to be doctors anymore. We got students that are not wanting to be attorneys anymore. So knowing and understanding that Colin Kaepernick is here saying, hey, we got to promote AI literacy. Hey, we got to promote storytelling. I'm all for it. And the reason I'm really all for it is because look. Okay, with him promoting AI literacy and storytelling, let's get to the article. Okay, so it says Colin Kaepernick is putting the power of innovation through a new pilot program with Nashville Public Schools. His platform, Lumi, is teaching students how to use artificial intelligence responsibly, okay, to build their own worlds and tell their own stories, okay? Do you think that Lumi will help the next generation of storytellers? What are y'all's thoughts? Drop something in the chat. Will this help the next generation of storytellers? Is this even necessary? I think so. And speaking of helping the next generation of storytellers, y'all, I've been saying it. I've said it so many times. I've been saying it since 2020. Every student athlete needs a podcast, okay? Every student athlete needs a podcast. And they need to start podcasting now so they can get comfortable putting out that message, sharing that information, and ultimately being able to get comfortable with their story, getting comfortable in front of a camera, getting comfortable on a mic. But don't take my word for it. I got somebody else's word for it that you should actually take a listen.
Can help quarterbacks, but every other position, you need to start making content. I'm not saying that everybody should have a podcast, but for the younger athletes, if you're going to start now.
He's not saying everybody should have a podcast. I'm saying everybody should have a podcast, but still listen to what RG3 is saying, talking about content, because he is a quarterback and he's a podcaster.
Start in high school, junior high school, just being yourself, having fun, building up that cachet with your fan base so that it's not like now you're pro and you're just trying to knock out content because you're trying to capitalize on the movement. Do it because you think it's cool. Yeah. Don't do stuff just because everyone else might think it's cool. Don't hop on a trend that you don't really vibe with. But it is important for brands to know who you are.
All right, RG3, telling it straight. It's important for brands to know who you are. How will brands get to know who you are, see who you are, and show who you are if you're not out here creating content? Y'all, it's time. We have seen it time and time again to where there have been people on platforms, big name or not, they've been building up their criteria. They've been building up their card catalog of sorts of content, or content catalog, if you will. But then they get booted from shows. Layoffs happen, pay cuts happen, you get released, and then now they're trying to start something else or trying to do something else. But what would happen if you just started first? It's time to create your content, okay? So there's that, and then I had something else I wanted to break down for y'all. As we're getting ready to roll into the Super Bowl, it's Super Bowl season, right? Super Bowl time. So now, what is going on here? The cost of a 30-second Super Bowl ad. Oh, my. Times have changed. It started in 1967 with the $42,000 ad. Okay, what does that even look like? Do you hear me? Then it began to climb up a little bit 3 years later at $78,000. And then it jumped 5 years later to $107,000. Then we began to walk down. And then, 1995, it just makes sense for a $1.2 million Super Bowl ad. Then it jumped from 1.2 to 2. Then we go from 2 to 2.4. Then 2015, they said, well, let's just make it a cool 4.25. But now in 2026, for 30 seconds of our time during a Super Bowl, when people are still going to be on their phones, when people are going to be at the party, maybe not even fully tapped into the game, they are charging companies $8 million for a 30-second Super Bowl ad. And I think there might be some validity here, right? It might make sense for somebody's company, somebody's business. But do you remember? Do you remember the Budweiser ad? Right? Do you remember some of these other iconic ads that, we've heard time and time again? So Boardroom went on to say, With 30-second spots pushing 8 million, brands are rolling out weeks-long campaigns ahead of the big game, built around teasers, creators, and social media hype to win attention early. This year's buzz already includes names like Mr. Beast, Sabrina Carpenter, Chloe Kim, and Kendall Jenner. So this is per Sportico. Shout out to them. Even if you had it, you dropping 8 mil for the Super Bowl ad and the campaign around. Even if you had it, you dropping that? Well, hey, okay. And then I wanna talk about this because this is something that's really been trending, really been having a lot of traction as of late. But learning about these micro dramas in their okay, let me just read the article. Shout out to Blavity for posting this. But it says ABFF sets 9x16 micro drama projects to amplify vertical series from creators of color. Let's see more. So now they put out a call for submissions so you can submit your own micro drama. And the deadline is March 20th. It says all genres are welcome. But they're calling for micro dramas so that you can, show and display your work. Let's learn a little bit more about micro dramas. So the 30th annual America Black Film Festival, ABFF, is launching a new initiative around micro dramas. And this digital first initiative is designed to identify, showcase, and amplify outstanding vertical micro drama series by creators of color. Are any of y'all watching micro dramas? Like, I want to know, like, if you are, what is one that you're watching? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. But it says micro dramas described by the ABFF as short form vertical episodic video series built for mobile first consumption. Okay. So that's watching on your phone, going up and down. Okay. Not side to side. Okay. Vertical. And it's built for consumption that optimized for popular social media sites, platforms, and emerging apps. Typically have 1 to 2 minute long episodes. All right. So drawing up a 1 to 2 minute long episode is what a micro drama is. This is good because I didn't initially know this. So this is good. And micro dramas rely on fast pacing, heightened emotion, and cliffhanger storytelling to drive binge viewing and repeat engagement. According to ABFF, the initiative places ABFF at a prime position in the emerging micro drama sector by creating a platform for new storytellers and to connect creators with a global audience. Okay. Okay. So look, if you're thinking about submitting a micro drama, this is what the eligibility requirements are. Submit projects must meet the following requirements and criteria. Created by a filmmaker or creative team led by creators of color. Okay. Must be shot in a vertical 9:16 aspect ratio. Okay. This also includes 6 to 10 episodes, 2 minutes or less per episode. That's including the credits. All right. Original work with all rights fully cleared. Okay. They said they don't want no legal issues. They don't want nobody putting a cease and desist after them. It must be submitted by someone 18 plus. Okay. With legal authority to submit. And it must be presented in English. Y'all, we so bougie when it comes to English stuff. We want everything in English here in America. When you go to any other country, people can speak 2 and 3 and 5 different languages. We got to get better. Okay, we got to get better. Me included. But once again, remember the deadline is March 20th, so don't miss out. So shout out to Jeff Friday, the co-owner and CEO of Nice Crowd and founder of the ABFF. He said how the new initiative is bringing the festival is into the new frontier. Okay, vertical storytelling. He was quoted as saying vertical storytelling is redefining how audiences discover and consume scripted content. Okay, with the ABF 9:16 microdrama project, we are extending ABF's mission into this new next frontier. Shout out to Mr. Jeff Friday. Okay, shout out to him, talking that talk. And then now I want to get into, as we were talking about the Super Bowl a little bit earlier, I want to get ready to wrap it up with this, talking a little bit about Tom Brady. Okay. You may or may not know he signed a massive contract. This is one of the craziest contracts I've ever seen and ever heard of in my life. But I want to play this clip to where we can hear, like, what are some of the benefits this man's getting in this contract? And just so y'all can hear also how ridiculous this contract is. Okay, so we're going to get ready to transition and play this clip of the Tom Brady contract because this thing is crazy, y'all. This thing is crazy. So here we go.
Brady has in his Fox Sports contract.
How many games does he actually announce?
So I'll tell you. We'll figure that out after.
Okay.
The first thing is that he gets paid $37.5 million every year.
That's a lot of bread.
That's more money than most quarterbacks are making in the NFL currently.
I feel like that's more than he made when he was a quarterback in the NFL.
The second thing is that if he stays till the end of his contract in 2032, which is how many years? 4, 5, 6 years? He will be paid a total of $375 million.
Which would be very, very impressive.
And this is the richest deal in sports broadcasting history, if that plays out.
I mean, there's no reason not to. He said he could still play in the NFL, by the way.
The third one is that he commutes to work in a $20 million Gulfstream.
Okay, wait a minute. He's commuting to work in a $20 million jet, a G550. This is getting wild, y'all.
G550.
I mean, if you have that much money, you might as well fly private, right?
Yeah, but it ain't on his expense. It's on Fox's expense.
Oh, beautiful.
This one could be humongous. He keeps 5% stake in the Las Vegas Raiders with his contract.
Why?
So he's a part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders.
My man said, why? That is hilarious. These dudes do such a great job on this Make a Shift project. They do such a great job.
Through that contract?
Through the contract. I think he bargained it or something. I don't know why, but I think that he's interested in the Las Vegas Raiders.
I guess because they moved.
The next perk is that he is officially the voice of every marquee broadcast on Fox, including every single future Super Bowl. He will be on the broadcast.
So is he going to do the Super Bowl this year?
He will be on for every single one until 2032 at least.
That's, again, insane. It's like all these other people who work so hard.
You want to hear the worst?
Oh my God. Yeah, that is insane. And there are so many people that work so hard, but nope, Tom Brady got it. He's the GOAT.
The last perk is that he has a part-time schedule of about 20 days per year.
Okay, yeah. No, great.
So 20 days, $37.5 million.
20 days, $37.5 million
per year. So every day he works throughout the year, he gets paid $1.875 million.
Yeah. Okay, so one or two things need to happen. Okay, one, we all need to learn how to get to the NFL and become the best quarterback ever, and then we need to pick up broadcast journalism and then see if we can broker this deal. Or we just need to find something else to do in life because Tom Brady clearly has found what it is that he wants to do and what he's going to do and what he continues to do, and he's killing it, and this is crazy. So, family, that's Fun Friday today. Just sharing some of those clips that we found. I'm like, whoa. Like, this stuff is cool. It's interesting. The Super Bowl is coming up. They're building up for the Super Bowl ads, so why not build up with the content as well, right, man? Shout out to RG3 with that clip, just letting us know that it's time for athletes to really create some content, and it's not time for you to wait. It's time for you to get going and time for you just to go ahead and get in position so that when the time does come, you will be ready to rock. You will be ready to roll. You'll be ready to get on the mic. And family, if that's something that you're interested in, right? You work at a school, you work with student athletes, you work at a high school, whatever it might be, you're around athletes and you want to get them media trained, send me a DM at Jonathan Jones Speaks. If you're looking to get your athletes media trained, send me over a DM at Jonathan Jones Speaks, all right? And the reason why I want you to send me a DM is because I want to help you. Me and my team will come in, we'll get your athletes trained up, and not only will they be media trained, but they also will know and understand, like, what are their core beliefs? What does their identity look like? Helping them get clear on things that's going to prepare them beyond the sport, but even helping them to where they can leverage the sport right where they are right now. Okay, so send a DM to at Jonathan Jones Speaks. And family, that's going to wrap up our show today. I always appreciate you joining us, rocking with us. And as always, if there's a topic you want us to cover, or maybe if there's somebody that you want us to interview, send over a DM to at Jonathan Jones Speaks or at Speak Your Success in the Morning. We'll check out the interview. We'll check out the DM. We'll see what you're talking about. We'll see what you got to say. And then we'll see if we can line it up, hook it up to where we can bring that content here to you. Family, until next week. All right. Until Monday Momentum. All right. Y'all be good. Be safe out there. I hope the roads are clearly dried and clearly thawed so that you can get to where you're trying to go. But until next time, family, remember, all right? Speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why would you and why should you live any other